The Indus Valley Civilization, IVC, also known as the Indus Civilization, was a Bronze Age civilization in the northwestern regions of South Asia, lasting from 3300 BCE to 1300 BCE, and in its mature form from 2600 BCE to 1900 BCE. Together with ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, it was one of three early civilizations of the Near East and South Asia. Of the three, it was the most widespread. It spanned much of Pakistan, northwestern India, and northeast Afghanistan. The civilization flourished both in the alluvial plain of the Indus River, which flows through the length of Pakistan, and along a system of perennial monsoon-fed rivers that once coursed in the vicinity of the Ghaggar Hakra, a seasonal river in northwest India and eastern Pakistan. The term Harappan is also applied to the Indus civilization, after its type site Harappa, the first to be excavated early in the 20th century in what was then the Punjab province of British India and is now Punjab, Pakistan. The discovery of Harappa, and soon afterwards Mohenjo-daro, was the culmination of work that had begun after the founding of the Archaeological Survey of India in the British Raj in 1861. There were earlier and later cultures called Early Harappan and Late Harappan in the same area. The early Harappan cultures were populated from Neolithic cultures, the earliest and best known of which is named after Mehrgarh in Balochistan, Pakistan. Harappan civilization is sometimes called Mature Harappan, to distinguish it from the earlier cultures. The cities of the ancient Indus were noted for their urban planning, baked brick houses, elaborate drainage systems, water supply systems, clusters of large non-residential buildings, and techniques of handicraft and metallurgy. Mohenjo-daro and Harappa very likely grew to contain between 30,000 and 60,000 individuals, and the civilization may have contained between 1 and 5 million individuals during its florescence. A gradual drying of the region during the 3rd millennium BCE may have been the initial stimulus for its urbanization. Eventually, it also reduced the water supply enough to cause the civilization's demise and to disperse its population to the east. Although over 1,000 mature Harappan sites have been reported and nearly 100 excavated, there are only 5 major urban centers. Mohenjo-daro in the lower Indus Valley, declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1980 as Archaeological Ruins at Mohenjo-daro. Harappa in the western Punjab region, Ganariwala in the Cholistan Desert, Dholavira in western Gujarat, declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2021 as Dholavira, a Harappan city, and Rakhigarhi in Haryana. The Harappan language is not directly attested, and its affiliations are uncertain, as the Indus script has remained undeciphered. A relationship with the Dravidian, or Elamo-Dravidian language family, is favored by a section of scholars. The Indus Valley civilization emerged around 3300 BCE and flourished until approximately 1300 BCE, making it one of the earliest Bronze Age societies in human history. Spanning vast regions of present-day Pakistan and northwest India, its cities stretched along the fertile plains of the Indus River and beyond. This civilization is notable for its impressive urban planning, advanced drainage systems, and standardized weights and measures. Alongside ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley stands out as one of the most widespread and influential early civilizations, shaping the course of history in South Asia and leaving a legacy that continues to intrigue scholars today. The civilization was first brought to light in the early 20th century, when archaeologists uncovered the ruins of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro in present-day Pakistan. These sites revealed a sophisticated urban culture, prompting scholars to name it the Harappan or Indus Valley civilization. Excavations at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro exposed advanced city planning, drainage systems, and impressive architecture, marking them as key archaeological landmarks. Researchers have identified 3 distinct phases in the civilization's development: the early Harappan phase, characterized by village settlements and gradual urbanization. The mature Harappan phase, noted for its flourishing cities and complex social structures, and the late Harappan phase, which saw a decline in urban life and eventual dispersal of the population. This framework helps historians trace the evolution and eventual transformation of one of the world's earliest urban societies. The cities of the Indus Valley civilization were remarkable for their sophisticated urban planning and architectural design. Streets were laid out in a grid pattern, and houses were often built with baked bricks, reflecting advanced construction techniques. One of the most impressive technological achievements was the extensive drainage system, which efficiently managed wastewater and contributed to public health. Water supply was carefully organized through wells and reservoirs, supporting both daily life and the flourishing of handicrafts such as pottery, bead making, and metallurgy. Estimates suggest that some cities may have housed tens of thousands of residents, with their growth fueled by agricultural surplus and trade. However, factors such as environmental changes, shifting river patterns, and possible resource depletion are believed to have contributed to the civilization's eventual decline. The Indus Valley civilization was renowned for its impressive urban centers, including Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, and Dholavira. These cities featured advanced planning, with grid-like streets, sophisticated drainage systems, and large public structures. One of the enduring mysteries of this civilization is the Indus script found on seals and pottery, which remains undeciphered to this day. Scholars continue to debate the language spoken by the Indus people, with theories ranging from early Dravidian to lost linguistic families. The lack of bilingual inscriptions has made it challenging to unlock the secrets of their written communication and fully understand their culture. Archaeological work in Harappa thereafter lagged until a new viceroy of India, Lord Curzon, pushed through the Ancient Monuments Preservation Act 1904 and appointed John Marshall to lead the ASI. Several years later, Hiranand, who had been assigned by Marshall to survey Harappa, reported it to be of non-Buddhist origin and, by implication, more ancient. Expropriating Harappa for the ASI under the Act, Marshall directed ASI archaeologist Dayaram Sahni to excavate the site's two mounds. Farther south, along the main stem of the Indus in Sindh province, the largely undisturbed site of Mohenjo-daro had attracted notice. Marshall deputed a succession of ASI officers to survey the site. These included D.R. Bandekar, 1911, R.D. Banerjee, 1919, 1922 to 1923, and M.S. Vats, 1924. In 1923, on his second visit to Mohenjo-daro, Banerjee wrote to Marshall about the site, postulating an origin in remote antiquity and noting a congruence of some of its artifacts with those of Harappa. Later in 1923, Vats, also in correspondence with Marshall, noted the same more specifically about the seals and the script found at both sites. On the weight of these opinions, Marshall ordered crucial data from the two sites to be brought to one location and invited Banerjee and Sahni to a joint discussion. By 1924, Marshall had become convinced of the significance of the finds and on 24 September 1924, made a tentative but conspicuous public intimation. In the next issue, a week later, the British Assyriologist Archibald Sayce was able to point to very similar seals found in Bronze Age levels in Mesopotamia and Iran, giving the first strong indication of their date. Confirmations from other archaeologists followed. Systematic excavations began in Mohenjo-daro in 1924 to 1925, with that of K.N. Dixit, continuing with those of H. Hargreaves, 1925 to 1926, and Ernest J. H. Mackay, 1927 to 1931. By 1931, much of Mohenjo-daro had been excavated, but occasional excavations continued, such as the one led by Mortimer Wheeler, a new Director General of the ASI appointed in 1944, and including Ahmed Hassan Dani. After the partition of India in 1947, when most excavated sites of the Indus Valley civilization lay in territory awarded to Pakistan, the Archaeological Survey of India, its area of authority reduced, carried out large numbers of surveys and excavations along the Ghaggar-Hakra system in India. Some speculated that the Ghaggar-Hakra system might yield more sites than the Indus River basin. According to archaeologist Shireen Ratnagar, many Ghaggar-Hakra sites in India are actually those of local cultures, with distinctive local pottery, but which had contacts with Harappan civilization. Fewer fully developed Harappan sites. As of 1977, about 90% of the Indus script seals and inscribed objects discovered were found at sites in Pakistan along the Indus River, while other sites accounts only for the remaining 10%. By 2002, over 1,000 mature Harappan cities and settlements had been reported, of which just under 100 had been excavated, mainly in the general region of the Indus and Ghaggar-Hakra rivers and their tributaries. However, there are only 5 major urban sites: Harappa, Mohenjo-Daro, Dholavira, Ganeriwala, and Rakhigarhi. As of 2008, about 616 sites have been reported in India, whereas 406 sites have been reported in Pakistan. Unlike India, in which after 1947, the ASY attempted to Indianize archaeological work in keeping with the new nation's goals of national unity and historical continuity, in Pakistan, the national imperative was the promotion of Islamic heritage, and consequently archaeological work on early sites was left to foreign archaeologists. After the partition, Mortimer Wheeler, the director of ASI from 1944, oversaw the establishment of archaeological institutions in Pakistan, later joining a UNESCO effort tasked to conserve the site at Mohenjo-Daro. Other international efforts at Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa have included the German Aachen Research Project Mohenjo-Daro, the Italian Mission to Mohenjo-Daro, and the US Harappa Archaeological Research Project, HARP, founded by George F. Dales. Following a chance flash flood, which exposed a portion of an archaeological site at the foot of the Bolan Pass in Balochistan, excavations were carried out in Mehrgarh by French archaeologist Jean-François Jarige and his team in the early 1970s. Archaeological research in Harappa experienced a resurgence following the introduction of Lord Curzon's Ancient Monuments Preservation Act in 1904. This legislative move paved the way for extensive excavations led by John Marshall and his team. Their early discoveries revealed that Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro were ancient sites, distinct from Buddhist heritage. As excavations continued, striking similarities emerged in the artifacts and scripts found at both locations, suggesting a shared cultural and historical background. During the 1920s and 1930s, extensive excavations at Mohenjo-Daro highlighted its significance as a major center of the ancient Indus Valley civilization, comparable to Harappa. The partition of India and Pakistan in 1947 led to a shift in archaeological priorities, with each country developing its own strategies for preserving and studying heritage sites. Over the following decades, international collaborations played a key role in uncovering new information, particularly at sites such as Mehrgarh. These efforts expanded our understanding of early South Asian societies and their development. The discoveries from this period continue to shape our knowledge of ancient civilizations in the region. The Indus Valley civilization, Sindhu Sabhyata, utilized a sophisticated range of construction technologies, characterized by advanced urban planning and standardized materials. Key construction technologies: standardized, fired bricks. A hallmark of the civilization was the widespread use of standardized, fired, baked bricks, which were durable and resistant to water, unlike the sun-dried bricks used by some contemporaries. These bricks maintained a consistent size across the vast geographical area of the civilization, suggesting a high degree of central organization and skilled labor. Urban planning. Cities like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa were laid out on a sophisticated grid plan, with rectilinear buildings and roads cutting at right angles. This planned layout included fortified areas, residential sectors, and large non-residential buildings. Advanced drainage and sanitation systems. The Indus Valley. People developed some of the world's first urban sanitation systems. Individual homes often had private bathing platforms and dedicated toilets connected to elaborate brick-lined drains that flowed alongside or beneath the streets. These street drains had removable bricks at intervals for easy cleaning and inspection. Soak pits, cesspits, were used to manage solid waste, which was periodically emptied. Large-scale water management included the construction of dams, artificial reservoirs, and sophisticated covered drainage systems to prevent blockages. Mortar and building materials. Constructions were typically made of mud, dried mud bricks, or clay bricks, with more permanent structures like drains and public buildings using fired bricks with lime and sand mortar. There is also evidence of the use of wood for superstructures. Water supply. Homes obtained water from numerous private and public wells within the city. Devices such as shadoofs and sakias were potentially used to lift water to ground level. Architectural techniques. Techniques included multi-story buildings, the use of large platforms as a defense against flooding, and the application of corbelling to construct stone arches for vaulted culverts in places like Mohenjo-Daro. Public works. Evidence of large public infrastructure projects includes the Great Bath at Mohenjo-Daro, a large public bathing area built with bricks and likely used for ritual purposes. Granaries used for storing grain. A dockyard at Lothal. Indus-valley-civilization for ornamental purposes by 2000 BCE. Some buttons were carved into geometric shapes and had holes pierced into them so that they could be attached to clothing by using a thread. Ian McNeill, 1990, holds that the button, in fact, was originally used more as an ornament than as a fastening, the earliest known being found at Mohenjo-Daro in the Indus Valley. It is made of a curved shell and about 5,000 years old. Shipyard. The world's oldest shipyard has been found in Lothal. It is situated 80 kilometers south of Ahmedabad in Gujarat. Cockfighting was a pastime in the Indus Valley civilization in what today is Pakistan by 2000 BCE and one of the uses of the fighting cock. The Encyclopedia Britannica, 2008, on the origins of cockfighting, holds the game fowl is probably the nearest to the Indian red jungle fowl, Gallus gallus, from which all domestic chickens are believed to be descended. The sport was popular in ancient times in the Indian subcontinent, China, the Persian Empire, and other Eastern countries, and was introduced into Greece in the time of Themistocles, circa 524 to 460 BCE. The sport spread throughout Asia Minor and Sicily. For a long time, the Romans affected to despise this Greek diversion, but they ended up adopting it so enthusiastically that the agricultural writer Columella, 1st century CE, complained that its devotees often spent their whole patrimony in betting at the side of the pit. The Indus Valley civilization stands out for its remarkable construction technologies, which laid the foundation for sophisticated urban centers. Their cities were meticulously planned, featuring grid-like street layouts and efficient drainage systems that reveal a deep understanding of urban design. Standardized materials, such as uniformly sized fired bricks, played a crucial role in ensuring structural consistency and durability across settlements. The widespread use of fired bricks not only enhanced the strength of buildings, but also marked a significant advancement in architectural practices of the time. These innovations collectively highlight the civilization's commitment to functionality, resilience, and aesthetic harmony in their built environment. Urban planning in ancient cities such as Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa reveals a remarkable level of sophistication. These cities were laid out in a grid pattern, which allowed for organized streets and efficient movement throughout the urban area. Advanced drainage and sanitation systems were implemented, with covered drains running alongside streets and houses connected to centralized waste disposal. Multi-story buildings were common, demonstrating both architectural skill and an understanding of space management. Large platforms were also constructed to defend against flooding, showcasing the inhabitants' ability to adapt their infrastructure to environmental challenges. Early construction methods relied heavily on locally available materials such as mud and clay, which were shaped into bricks for building walls and structures. Over time, advancements led to the use of fired bricks, bonded together with lime and sand mortar, greatly improving durability and stability. Architectural techniques also evolved, with innovations like corbelling allowing builders to create arched spaces without true arches. Vaulted culverts were introduced to efficiently channel water and support infrastructure, showcasing a growing understanding of engineering principles. These developments marked significant progress in both the materials used and the complexity of construction techniques. Water management has always been a crucial aspect of sustaining communities. Both private and public wells have served as essential sources of fresh water, providing reliable access for households and larger populations alike. In some regions, traditional devices such as shadufs and sakyas were employed to lift water from rivers or canals, demonstrating ingenuity in irrigation techniques. The construction of dams and artificial reservoirs further revolutionized water supply systems, enabling the storage and controlled distribution of water throughout the year. These advancements collectively ensured that water remained available for drinking, agriculture, and other vital uses, even during periods of scarcity. The Indus Valley civilization demonstrated remarkable engineering prowess through its public works and communal structures. The Great Bath at Mohenjo-Daro stands as an early example of sophisticated water management and communal gathering spaces. Granaries, essential for storing surplus crops, highlight the civilization's focus on food security and organized agriculture. The dockyard at Lothal reveals advanced understanding of maritime trade and logistics, enabling connections with distant regions. Together, these infrastructures reflect a society capable of planning and executing large-scale projects that benefited the entire community. In the Indus Valley civilization, daily life was marked by a variety of cultural innovations that reflected both practicality and artistic expression. Ornamental buttons, crafted from materials like shell and terracotta, were not merely functional but also served as decorative accents, highlighting personal adornment and social status. Archaeological findings suggest that cockfighting was practiced, indicating early forms of entertainment and possibly ritual significance within the community. These activities, from fashion to recreation, offer valuable insights into the social dynamics and values of Indus Valley society. Together, they illustrate a culture that balanced utility with creativity, shaping the everyday experiences of its people. Earliest clear evidence of the origins of the stepwell is found in the Indus Valley civilization's archaeological site at Mohenjo-Daro in Pakistan and Dholavira, India. The three features of stepwells in the subcontinent are evident from one particular site, abandoned by 2500 BCE, which combines a bathing pool, steps leading down to water, and figures of some religious importance into one structure. The early centuries immediately before the Common Era saw the Buddhists and the Jains of India adapt the stepwells into their architecture. Both the wells and the form of ritual bathing reached other parts of the world with Buddhism. Rock-cut stepwells in the subcontinent date from 200 to 400 CE. Subsequently, the wells at Dank, 550 to 625 CE, and stepped ponds at Binmol, 850 to 950 CE, were constructed. Bow drills were used in Meghar between the 4th and 5th millennium BC. This bow drill, used to drill holes into lapis lazuli and carnelian, was made of green jasper. Similar drills were found in other parts of the Indus Valley civilization and Iran 1 millennium later. The earliest public baths are found in the ruins of the Indus Valley civilization. According to John Key, the Great Bath of Mohenjo-Daro in present-day Pakistan was the size of a modest municipal swimming pool, complete with stairs leading down to the water at each one of its ends. Rehman Deri contains the earliest evidence of a grid-planned city in South Asia dated circa 3300 BCE. By 2600 BC, Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, and other major cities of the Indus-valley-civilization, were built with blocks divided by a grid of straight streets running north-south and east-west. Each block was subdivided by small lanes. The Indus Valley civilization had advanced sewerage and drainage systems. All houses in the major cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro had access to water and drainage facilities. Wastewater was directed to covered gravity sewers, which lined the major streets. Mohenjo-Daro, circa 2800 BC, is cited as having some of the most advanced, with toilets built into outer walls of homes. These dry toilets had chutes that fed waste into cesspits or street drains. The Indus cotton industry was well developed, and some methods used in cotton spinning and fabrication continued to be used until the industrialization of India. One of the most significant discoveries at Dholavira was made in one of the side rooms of the northern gateway of the city, and is generally known as the Dholavira signboard. The Harappans had arranged and set pieces of the mineral gypsum to form 10 large symbols or letters on a big wooden board. At some point, the board fell flat on its face. The wood decayed, but the arrangement of the letters survived. The letters of the signboard are comparable to large bricks that were used in nearby walls. Each sign is about 37 centimeters, 15 inches high, and the board on which the letters were inscribed was about 3 meters, 9.8 feet long. The inscription is one of the longest in the Indus script, with one symbol appearing 4 times, and this and its large size and public nature make it a key piece of evidence, cited by scholars arguing that the Indus script represents full literacy. A 4-sign inscription with large letters on a sandstone is also found at this site, considered the first of such inscriptions on sandstone at any of the Harappan sites. In Neolithic Mehrgarh pre-Harappan phase, 7000 to 3200 BCE, people had developed a water storage system called Bund to trap rain and torrential waters in the semi-arid region of Kutch between the Indus River and Balochistan Mountains, where the seasonal Bolan River flows. Stone walls were built along the slope of torrential riverbeds to serve as reservoir dams, restrict flow of water, and for diverting water into canals for irrigation. The Indus Valley civilization stands as one of the earliest examples of advanced water management in human history. Archaeological sites like Mohenjo-Daro, Dholavira, and Mehrgarh reveal a remarkable integration of stepwells, bathing pools, and communal reservoirs into daily life. These cities were meticulously planned, featuring grid-patterned streets and sophisticated drainage systems that efficiently managed both fresh and wastewater. Bathing pools, such as the Great Bath at Mohenjo-Daro, suggest not only practical uses, but also religious and social significance. The combination of urban planning and water infrastructure highlights the ingenuity and foresight of the Indus Valley people, setting a foundation for future developments in water management across the region. The Indus Valley civilization stands out for its remarkable technological and cultural achievements. Among its innovations were bow drills, which enabled efficient bead making, and the construction of sophisticated public baths, reflecting advanced urban planning and a focus on hygiene. The region also pioneered the cotton industry, producing textiles that were traded widely. The Dholavira signboard, featuring large inscribed symbols, suggests a form of early literacy and communication. In nearby Mehrgarh, evidence of water storage and irrigation systems points to the development of agricultural techniques even before the rise of the Harappan cities, highlighting the ingenuity of these ancient communities. This channel is committed to providing educational content, ensuring that all information shared is intended for learning purposes only. We do not endorse or promote any illegal activities. Our goal is to foster a safe and informative environment for viewers. By engaging with our content, you can stay updated on new topics and expand your knowledge. Please like, follow, and subscribe.